Hello, everyone. Welcome along to the debrief live on the Blood Red YouTube channel after Liverpool's goalless draw at Anfield with Chelsea. Pretty boring game, if being brutally honest. You join me, Patrick Smith, and I'm also joined by Ed Kay today. We're going to be getting over the major talking points. We are live, as I said, so make sure you get your comments in. We'll get to as many of the comments and questions as we can. But Ed, general overview on that one. It was pretty dreadful, if being honest. It was, I think BBC have said that they struggled to a goalless draw. I think that sums it up perfectly.
Yeah, do you know what? I didn't think the second half was too bad. There was a bit in it, but I was sort of drifting in and out watching the first half, not really concentrating, obviously. I've been working on my matching pictures anyway, so had plenty of time to just concentrate on that really in the first half. Yeah, the first half was absolutely dire. I think Chelsea were probably the better team in the first half. Yeah, Caspia there saying they had a great nap. It wasn't far off myself, to be honest. But yeah, I didn't think the second half was too bad. I was glad to see Núñez coming on. I thought it was definitely the right call bringing Milner off, and bringing Trent on after he got that booking. I was a bit worried when that Mudryk came on, if I'm honest, when he dribbled past about three players in the box and then hit the side netting. I was a bit shook after that. But yeah, overall, I mean, it doesn't really help anyone that game, does it? A 0-0 draw. We both needed to win it. Neither have, and it's just sort of a typical Liverpool game against Chelsea, really. I mean, we drew twice against them in the cup finals last year. I think we drew to them at home after they went down to 10 men, didn't they? And yeah, two sides that have been really struggling with injuries, and I think that was pretty evident today.
Yeah, both sides couldn't afford to lose, really could then. I think it's over 6 hours now we've seen in recent Liverpool-Chelsea matches without a goal, which is the two goalless cup finals, and then obviously today, some really, really dreadful stuff. And yeah, you mentioned Mudryk there. I've been a bit sceptical of Chelsea signing him, but he's really impressive, actually, to be fair to him. Poor old James Milner. I mean, if there's any sign that Liverpool need a backup right back, because Calvin Ramsey clearly isn't ready, I mean, you had to take him out and be taken off shortly, and who can blame Milner for that? But Ed, I mean, there's such a lack of creativity today. Granted, we weren't necessarily expecting there to be loads of goals. Chelsea, a very defensive side. They sort of definitely needed a goalless draw more than Liverpool did in that sense. But do you think they still need, to add some creativity and there be a change of shape, formation? I mean, ideally, we'd like to see a change of personnel, wouldn't we? But Klopp's made that pretty clear. So is there anything you'd make a tweak for the next games, maybe?
I'm not sure, really, because I don't think you can pick a much more creative midfield out of the players we've got than if you've got Thiago and Keita in there. But even with Thiago in there, he plays the nice passes and he will play those passes that break the lines, but he doesn't get that many assists. He's not contributing to that many goals directly from midfield. Obviously, in the comments, they're suggesting people do still think we don't need signings. I'm not sure who out there is saying we don't need signings at this point. But yeah, it's just such a lack of creativity from midfield that if Salah's not firing, Gakpo's obviously still finding his feet, and Harvey Elliott's playing every position on the pitch pretty much at the moment. It's just difficult to ask from those front three to be creating all the time, and you do need somebody in midfield that's going to either grab a goal or make one themselves. And I think Chelsea are struggling with that at the moment as well. I mean, they didn't have much creativity from midfield either. So yeah, it's just someone that can be a link between that midfield three and the front three, or like you say, maybe it comes from a change of shape, maybe to a 4-2-3-1 when we've got some of the players back who can fit that formation better. But yeah, something's got to change, and whether that's through signings, probably not in January, obviously. But if we're going to be trying to get top four, then they need to be getting a bit more out of the midfield in terms of going forward than they are at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's really strange that you mentioned Chelsea, how much they are spending. I mean, they specifically need so many more positions than just wingers, but they seem to keep just signing wide attacking players. It's a really strange process. But let's focus on Cody Gakpo a bit. He's not scored for Liverpool yet. Granted, he is going to take time to find his feet. It's a difficult side to join. We've seen players, need time, apart from Luis Diaz is sort of the exception to that. But, you seeing promising signs from him today, or do you think he can get a bit lost down the middle sometimes? Because a few of the comments there are saying that he was kind of missing again today. Do you think that's a bit harsh on him too far, or do you think he needs that time?
I don't know about missing. I mean, those two shots he had where he's leaning back and he's really snatching at it and it's going miles over is a bit frustrating. But you can see that's clearly from he just wants to get that first goal in. He's rushing things a bit, and when that goal comes, hopefully he will be a bit more composed. I mean, when I saw the starting 11, I was expecting him to be on the left. To be fair, I thought Salah was gonna play down the middle and Harvey Elliott would have been on the right, but obviously Harvey Elliott playing on the left. I'm not sure I can remember another time him doing that, really. So, yeah, maybe there's an argument that he could have started on the left and had Salah through the middle. I think we've seen Salah be effective through the middle before, but although sometimes that's as part of a two. Personally, I don't know how fit he was, or he looked all right when he came on. I would have liked to see Núñez start and Gakpo on the left. Look, I think Gakpo just needs to be given time. I think start him every game from now until whenever, and just let him get his legs underneath him, because it's not like he's got many people pushing him for that position on the left until Diaz and Jota are back, and I don't think that's going to be till February, March, is it, for either of them?
Yeah, March, April time for them. But Jota's apparently doing some running back in training, so hopefully Jota's back sooner rather than later. But yeah, I think you make a good point, though, about Salah playing down the middle. I was surprised that he wasn't today. I mean, Harvey Elliott as well, I think he had a decent first half and then sort of dropped off a bit. But he looks better in those attacking roles. I think that's, definitely the future for him in Liverpool. I mean, in my opinion, would you be keeping Harvey Elliott in that front line and pushing Salah down the middle, or would you go another way with it and try and put two up top?
I completely agree. I think Harvey Elliott Liverpool should be grooming him as Mohamed Salah's replacement, in my opinion. They've spoken at length in interviews before, Harvey Elliott, about how well he gets on with Salah, and he's always looking to him for advice. And I think that is where he looks his most comfortable on the right, as Kazi's saying in the comments there. That's what I was expecting to see. I think long term, Harvey Elliott on the right is going to be a definite option. I think it kind of clears up the question of, did Liverpool need to go into the market and buy a backup right-sided attacker, because we didn't really have any backup for Mohamed Salah before that. Obviously, they went and got Gakpo, who can play sort of more through the middle and on the left. I definitely think they need to be looking at Harvey Elliott as the long-term solution to whenever Mohamed Salah eventually starts to have his decline. Obviously, he's going through a bit of a bad patch at the moment, but I don't think that's anything to do with the decline. I just think he just needs to get another goal, and he'll be going again. And maybe when the Champions League comes against Real Madrid, he might finally take his chance against them. But yeah, like I say, I completely agree with you. I think Harvey Elliott on the right is definitely where he's at his best. He's far better up there, in my opinion, than he is in a midfield three.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what we signed him as a youngster, as he is an attacker. And, that loan spell at Blackburn where he's playing in that right side of the role. We've kind of forgotten. I mean, I don't know about the people, I myself had forgotten he'd got that skill set as an attacker, because you don't really see it from midfield as such. And at times, he's been criticised in his midfield role this year. I think it's a bit harsh, because he's clearly an attacker. And it's like our Curtis Jones is similar on the left-hand side, probably prefers playing on the wing rather than in midfield. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Not too much to talk about today. Thank you for joining us, everyone. It was a bit of a snooze fest, that was a bit exciting at times, but ultimately a frustrating draw. But it's a clean sheet nonetheless, and those are very important. I'll have a shout out to Joe Gomez as well. I think he had a relatively decent game. Someone who gets a lot of heat, shall we say, at times, myself included, and many other Liverpool supporters. But everyone, we'll leave it there. Thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you Jurgen Klopp's press conference as soon as we have it. So make sure you're subscribed and stick around here on the Blood Red channel. But for myself, Patrick Smith, and from Ed K, thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you next time on the Debrief.